With the Olympics around the corner, I want to tell you of one athlete competing in Paris. This man's name is Steven Van De Velde, and his presence with the Dutch volleyball team has brought many to scream of the double standards.
Now, a Dutch volleyball player who a 12-year-old British girl is set to represent the country at the Paris Olympics. Steven Van De Velde was jailed in 2016, but despite the outcry, the Dutch Olympics Committee has defended his selection. How on earth should he be allowed to compete at the Olympics with a criminal record like that?
In the original court case, the judge declared that his Olympic ambitions were a shattered dream. Even his own defense lawyer said, the headlines say it all, sex monster.
The questions become rather simplistic. How? Why? In 2014, Van De Velde was sentenced to 4 years in prison for R-wording a 12-year-old after talking online frequently via Facebook, Snapchat, and Skype. He boarded a plane from Amsterdam to, per The Athletic, a small airport north of London. He was 19 at the time. It is accurate that Judge Francis Sheridan said to Van De Velde, "Prior to coming to the UK, you were training as a potential Olympian. Your hopes of representing your country now lie as a shattered dream." Additionally, his lawyer, Linda Strudwick, would say the final verdict, "The headlines say it all, a sex monster." It's plainly a career end for him. Per the Telegraph, Van De Velde would be extradited, serve a measly 12 months, and be released. The Dutch Olympics Committee proclaimed he rehabilitated his image. Van De Velde and beach volleyball partner Matthew Immers are the 10th ranked team nationally per FIVB.com. The Athletic wrote and reported that when Van De Velde learned of the victim's age, he did not break off contact whatsoever and continued conversing. Before he returned to the Netherlands, Van De Velde advised his victim to get the morning after pill because they had not used contraception, wrote the outlet. Per Tom Burrows, Van De Velde would be resentenced to a shorter term because of a Dutch law. It led to his release in 2017. Upon that release, Van De Velde would say, "I have been branded as a sex monster, as a P word. That I am not, really not." Yet in 2018, he uttered, "I did what I did. I can't take it back. So I will have to carry the consequences. You can judge, of course. It is the biggest mistake of my life." Since then, he competed for the Netherlands in the year 2017 and married German volleyball player Kim Behrens in 2022. They have a 2-year-old boy together. Still, the inclusion of Van De Velde to the Olympics roster to represent a country, the Netherlands, has been met with swift condemnation, question marks, vitriol, and quite honestly, anger from many human rights organizations. Sierra Bergman, the CEO of Rape Crisis England and Wales, called it irresponsible and claimed it created an enormous sense of impunity. She'd add, "If you can R-word a child and still compete in the Olympics despite all athletes signing a declaration promising to be a role model, that is just shocking." Furthermore, Andreas Simon, who serves as the executive director of the End Violence Against Women Coalition, spoke on the controversy. "It sends a worrying message to men who commit R-word that there will unlikely be any consequences and therefore no deterrent." Van De Velde being included has rang the alarm for many. Not just in media, but also fans of the Olympics, because they see the bigger picture of how blatant a double standard this is.
Sha'Carri Richardson is now off the U.S. track and field team roster. The 21-year-old sprinter was suspended for a month after testing positive for marijuana.
Completely upended after testing positive for marijuana. The World Anti-Doping Agency sidelining Richardson for 30 days, voiding her trial times and making it so she could not compete in the Olympics.
Who could forget Sha'Carri Richardson?
She admitted to using marijuana after the death of her mother, which was just before the race.
To put on a face, to have to go in front of the world and put on a face and hide my pain. Who are you, or who am I to tell you how to cope?
She used marijuana to deal with the psychological pain, the numbing pain of losing a loved one, and she was banned from competing in the Olympics. Meanwhile, the studies show, for example, from the Clinical Journal of Sports Medicine, that there is no evidence for cannabis use as a performance-enhancing drug. Then writing a second time, although cannabis use is more prevalent in some athletes engaged in high-risk sports, there is no direct evidence of performance-enhancing effects in athletes. Then there's the case of Caster Semenya. Semenya, 33, is a South African distance runner who has medaled and been a world champion. However, she has been gender tested numerous times, resulting in embarrassing displays by the IOC and various other organizations. The Post would write, she is considered different because it is believed she has an intersex condition that makes her body naturally produce a high level of testosterone. The fallout would be unjust. Via Dave Zirin, if Semenya wants to compete in the future, they have concluded she will have to artificially suppress these hormones in her body. This is sick and disturbed, the equivalent of making Joel Embiid play basketball on his knees because he is deemed too tall, or forcing Michael Phelps to wear weights on his feet to negate the advantage that their flipper-like shape provides him when he dives into the pool. She would be barred from competing in the Olympics because her body naturally produces too high of testosterone levels. So yeah, there is a double standard here. And if you don't think it exists, then I really don't know what to tell you.